So for anybody that may not be familiar with the book, could you give us just sort of a brief overview about what the story is?
Okay. The Mothman is actually probably one of the more famous legends from relatively modern history. You probably heard of the Mothman Prophecies, the movie with Richard Gere and Deborah Messing, Laura Linney. I saw that movie when it first came out, which was in the early 2000s, and I believe that was the first time I'd ever even heard of the Mothman. And I loved that movie, and I developed an interest in it above and beyond the movie. I mean, I started looking into the original storyline of what happened, and in my book, of course, it's set in West Virginia. The Point Pleasant is the town where the events happened in the 60s, which started out with many, many people seeing what they took to be some kind of creature with red eyes. It appeared to quite a number of people independently who had not had any contact with one another, and they all reported seeing this thing, with no possibility of having conferred with other people, to like propagate a hoax or anything like that. Right. So I've always found that fascinating. So in my book, well, let me go back a minute. The incidents with the Mothman, where people were seeing it, culminated in the Silver Bridge that spanned the Ohio River between Point Pleasant and Gallipolis, Ohio. It was just before Christmas, 1966, I believe it was. It collapsed and killed 47 people. After that, nobody saw the Mothman there again. And then in other places, people reported seeing this same thing, the Mothman. And supposedly it's where tragedies are about to occur. So in my book, we have these kids who are geocachers, and it's in a little town near Point Pleasant. It's a fictitious town. They start seeing something that matches the description of the Mothman. And even, and at first they're afraid nobody's going to believe them because it just sounds too fantastic. But then lots of other people in that area start seeing the Mothman, and they bring up what happened in the 60s, is that the Mothman showed up, tragedy followed. And the geocaching angle comes in while the kids are caching. They find clues that they can only attribute to being left by the Mothman. And so that sort of kicks in their detective instincts, and they start trying to investigate what all this really means. And as the story progresses, they go on a night cache hunt. And night caches are personally my favorite. And so I decided to make the story as the night cache story happens, incidents with the Mothman coincide. And I won't give away more of the plot than that, but it does lead to, one of those inevitable tragic situations that the Mothman is known for. So I hope that the book succeeded in having both a fun aspect to it and sort of a dark, creepy atmosphere to it. Because, I grew up loving creepy. I still love creepy. And if there's anything I like more than being scared, it's scaring somebody else. So I hope some of the kids got the pants scared off of them. I can hope.